It is a cold January here in Indianapolis, and welcome to Shepherd Live as we keep you informed of all the things that's happening. We want to kick off with a video that helps you see a glimpse of the future.
We are celebrating, again, 40 years of impact, and we're breaking ground on a new chapter that will serve our neighbors and our community for the next 40 years.
19 years ago, June, we moved to this place, and we walked through and said, what are we going to do with all this space? We could not fathom what would happen. Past, present, future. The Warwick Place apartments that will take place, named in honor of the man who had the vision 40 plus years ago to start Shepherd Community, Dr. J.K. Warwick. 11 townhomes that will be affordable for our neighbors. The 11 homes that will be built new in the neighborhood in partnership with Arbor Homes. As you drove in tonight, there in front of the property on Washington Street, you would have saw Advanced Auto. We closed on that property. It was on again, off again, on again, and finally we closed so that we can begin the process of doubling the space here for our kids so we can have more in our academy. We can have more in our before and after school program. We can have more summer camp. And you've heard about the Health and Wellness Center, but I want to tell you this is not about square feet. It's about pairs of feet. And everything that we're doing is about impacting more lives. And how? Well, one of our big dreams by 2030 is to bring back the community that many of you remember. It can be reestablished. That can happen again when we create a community of belonging where everyone knows they belong. And that's our challenge. And so we want to quadruple the number of kids served while only doubling our budget. We want to be creative in our expansion and in partnership and working with so many other friends. The Ruby Project. Won't you help?
Well, I think Shepherd has been successful in the ministry for 40 years. First, because of God. God is at work here. If God wasn't at work here, Shepherd would not be around 40 years later.
Shepherd's passion for its community, for its neighborhood, but especially its children, is extraordinary.
One of the people I interviewed said, for instance, in school, I wanted to succeed, not for me, but for all of these adults who had poured themselves into me. It's long-term relationships that makes the difference.
I am texting between 30 to 50, and I'm going to use the word kids liberally. Some of them are in their 30s, and genuinely some of them are kids.
I really like the fact that we're working towards more housing options for our neighbors. Housing right now is so incredibly difficult to find affordable housing.
You can have a great mission and a great heart, but if you can't manage an organization effectively to get to a result, it's not worth the energy, it's not worth the money, it's not worth the focus. But I really admire the way Shepherd manages their affairs, and they've got results that really demonstrate it.
I think my thoughts on the next 40 years, from the gymnasium to the other things that we're looking at doing, I think it all presents more pathways and avenues to engage our families. And I think that's the piece that I love about it. It's Shepherd's, not just an academy.
I watched Shepherd carefully for many, many years, and they care. There's nothing more important in a child's life than a caring adult.
The children will influence the rest of the family. There's people on staff who can attest to that.
It's a whole family experience with Shepherd, so I think they have really gained the wisdom necessary for them to be able to truly affect entire families on the Near East Side.
They see a need in the community. There's not a 6-month study about, okay, how do we address this problem? It's let's get it done. Let's find partners to help with it. Let's partner with churches and with businesses and lots of other organizations to meet our neighbors' needs.
I believe that we will be fine if we stay tuned into the Holy Spirit and keep that relational stuff in mind.
God is not done. And He started with little loads like this. So I see this and it's just a great reminder. It takes a village.
We appreciate so many of you, thousands of folks who over the years have made it possible for us to celebrate 40 years. And it's hard to believe over time, so many people stepping forward, folks like yourself. But we're not done. The last 40 we celebrate, and so many lives impacted and stories rewritten. And I'm privileged today to talk to my colleague, Andrew Green, who has been with us for 20 years, serving alongside and helping us as we want to impact the Near East Side of Indianapolis. Andrew, in your 20 years, what's been the biggest change you've seen?
I think the thing that comes to mind immediately is just neighborhood change. And I think about opportunities for our neighbors, and whether that's, in housing, it's still a really complex, complicated issue for a lot of neighbors, but there's some progress happening in that area. I think I'm excited about that. I think neighborhood-wise, again, when you think about some of the big issues like health and hunger, there's some opportunities. There's a lot of needs still, but there's some opportunities that I think the change in the last 20 years has been encouraging to see how God has opened some doors in those areas.
It is interesting to see, because it seems as if some of the challenges and issues change over time. And what has been the biggest positive memory you have for you and your family who have served here together? What would you say, this was something that was very special for our family?
I think about community-wise, and I think about opportunities that we've had to serve together with neighbors, as opposed to, it's easy to think about, even when you volunteer somewhere, you go and you do something to a neighborhood or to a center or wherever you're volunteering at, but being a part and doing ministry with. So I think some of the ones that come to mind immediately, even this last Sunday, we celebrated a surprise birthday from one of the folks from the church, which was really cool to celebrate together, families all together, and celebrating this guy who's been a part of the whole time that I've been here, been serving in a lot of different ways, both in the church and in the community center. And that's a memory that is immediate and just happened.
Yeah, I think on that story, he is now in his late 30s, Down syndrome. Society would say he has lots of challenges, but he serves every day here at Shepherd Community in our kitchen, and the kids love him. He is quite the character, has different outfits he wears, and on Taco Tuesday, he's got his taco outfit. It's great because the stories have names and faces that we've both gotten to know over time. We have set out this year as the beginning of the next 40 with a theme of one word, deeper. Tell me what, for our folks, what does deeper mean?
I love it. I think about, we've connected it to a verse as we've talked about, be still and know. And it links to that for me. I think about knowing, both knowing God in a deeper way, but knowing our neighbors in a deeper way. And I'm just really excited to think about what knowing our neighbors in deeper relationship looks like this year. That's what's probably most exciting about headed into this year and heading into the next 40 is relationships.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's everything for us.
Absolutely.
It's relationships. We are working to try to quantify that with a thing called the relationship scale. If we were 1 year ahead, what would success look like for us for Deeper?
That's a great question. I think if you were talking with our neighbors, you'd be hearing them reflect on a deeper connection with staff and volunteers here at Shepherd. And so I think that's going to be them reflecting on connection, community. I think they're going to be saying words along those lines where they're feeling empowered, where they're feeling with that connected, where they're feeling less lonely because they're in connection with other folks, both us and their own neighbors.
Yeah, I think they would describe what they've accomplished over the year and what they've done with us.
Yeah.
We want to know their names and faces, but know much more, and to live life together. The book of Acts talks about how the early church lived life together, and I think that's a good framework for us to look at. What other things do you see in the days and months and years ahead that will be something new that is building off of the strong foundation of the last 40 years, but catapulting us into the next?
Yeah. I think we're going to, as we go deeper with neighbors, it's going to mean additional partnerships and connections across. When you think of a whole community, it's a lot bigger than just Shepherd, just staff here. It's all of the volunteers, the churches, the corporations, the businesses that join together in doing that together. And it means relationships in those ways as well with our neighbors. And I think that's going to be another growth area for us, is just the opportunity to invite more folks to be a part of what's happening in those connections and in those relationships across the whole community.
Well, we want to keep you informed of ways you can be a part of that. Part of something new that we're working on starting in March is a monthly meal where folks can come together, that we can eat a meal together at the same table. And so that's exciting as we look to that. If you'd like to be a part of helping sponsor a meal, maybe come and preparing that and serving that to our neighbors. Lots of ideas flowing, and we're excited about the days ahead. Make sure you're checking on this broadcast each month as we try to keep you updated. You can also go to our podcast, wherever you get your podcast, Breaking the Cycle of Poverty. If you'd like to donate something, hats, gloves, it's a good time for that. If you have adult coats that we can provide to our students, partners in IPS, we've been working hard about doing that. Go to our website. You can see the list that we have of items you could donate. If you'd like to donate money to help continue catapulting us into the future, the Ruby Project is the theme that we want to celebrate 40 years and look forward anxiously to what God's going to do in the next 40. Stay warm, and we'll talk to you next month. Thank you. From Shepherd Community to you, thanks.